Coming up on the newsfeed, with graduation just around the corner and local hotels being completely booked, families may need to look into alternative housing options for the ceremonies.
And later in the broadcast, we take a look at how social media is playing a role in helping to fight crime. Those stories and more coming up next on the newsfeed.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the newsfeed. I'm Brendan Susserman.
And I'm Emily Jones. In just a few weeks, Blacksburg will welcome thousands of visitors for the exciting graduation weekend at Virginia Tech. Since local hotels are completely booked, some families are choosing an alternative housing option. Newsfeed reporter Chelsea Giles has more.
On May 16th, thousands of visitors from all over will swarm the small town of Blacksburg for Virginia Tech's graduation weekend. Though graduation is a time for celebration, many visitors are more stressed than excited about coming to Blacksburg because they simply don't have a place to stay. Local hotels, even the ones in nearby counties, are completely booked for those few days and have been for months. Tyler Lake, a senior psychology major at Tech, says his graduation ceremonies are on 2 separate days, but his parents may only be able to attend one because they simply can't find an open room anywhere.
There's the 2 separate ceremonies, and basically they have to drive down at the start and then drive back home after each of the individual ones. So it's pretty frustrating. It's expensive for gas money, and it's just time consuming.
What some parents may not know, however, is Tech opens its residential halls as housing options for friends and family, and have been doing so since the early 1980s. Eric Weininger, Assistant Director of Conference Services at Virginia Tech, says that though the lottery for rooms with air conditioning has already ended, there are still rooms available to register for until the first week of May.
We continue the non-air conditioned registration, and that will go through May 5th at noon. And we try to give people, enough time to register for if hotel reservations fall through, or if there's any last-minute people that want to attend graduation.
According to Weininger, between 1,200 to 1,400 people will use the alternative graduation housing, and it has a few perks over staying in a hotel.
You can walk everywhere, so you can just park your car, and you don't have to worry about driving, finding parking spaces. With all the commencement activities taking place in Castle, the football stadium, or other buildings on campus, it's easy to walk to.
Not only will families be conveniently located near the main ceremonies and the Dietrich Dining Hall where they can enjoy meals, they will also be fully immersed in the beauty of Tech's campus and all of the activities and sightseeing it offers, making it a much more hassle-free weekend. For more information, visit housing.vt.edu under the Conference and Guest Services tab. This is Chelsea Giles reporting for the newsfeed.
And for families who have already registered, Housing Services provides linens, towels, and pillows for guests. However, they do recommend that you bring a fan if staying in a non-air-conditioned room.
The Virginia Tech campus is known for its constant construction, but construction is becoming more common off-campus as old apartment complexes require renovations and new complexes are sprouting up around Blacksburg. While Virginia Tech completes several construction projects of its own, Terrace View Apartments recently completed its own renovations. Sturbridge Square is beginning to renovate, and The Edge, a new apartment complex just off campus, is finishing construction and set to open in fall 2014. Christina Skiles, a resident of Sturbridge Square, said although the renovations aren't affecting her specifically, they are creating pains for her neighbors.
We do get construction vehicles driving by our apartment a lot, and I've heard of some people living in the apartment buildings. They're doing construction like right next door to them, and it's loud. It's at 9 in the morning on a weekend, and usually people want to sleep in on the weekend.
As many students move off campus after their freshman year, the construction raises questions about whether students will stay on campus to avoid dealing with it. Skiles, however, does not think it's a big issue for students considering a move off campus.
That you see for the first time when you're getting an apartment. You hear construction all of the time on Tech campus.
Virginia Tech is currently completing construction on a new engineering building and Davidson Hall renovations. Construction on new upper quad buildings and an academic building will begin in the near future.
Global warming has become a major talking point for more than just environmental organizations. Our own Jonna Harrison has more on what some students are doing to try to change the university's choice of energy consumption.
Thanks, Emily. CNN recently released another notice about global warming, stating that the future holds some very hot and dry weather for us. The Students for Clean Energy at Virginia Tech have started a dialogue with the administration about trying to change the impact of Virginia Tech's coal plant on campus. The organization urges that student and community start thinking about taking responsibility for their own actions and the possible consequences if things do not change. Kelsey Pence wants Hokies to know that the little things they do make the biggest difference, such as turning lights off when you are not using them and recycling.
And ultimately, we'd like the university to switch from using our on-campus coal plant to more renewable energy sources. And in the meantime, we'd like to see maybe increasing solar panels on the roofs of buildings so that we can decrease the use of the power plant. The university has set in place with their climate action commitment plan is to reduce carbon emissions by 80% from 1990 levels by 2050. We really think that that's way too late.
The group would like to see Virginia Tech starting weaning off the coal plant by 2025 instead. We will see if the Virginia Tech administration takes the students' recommendation on more seriously as talks continue. Back to you at the anchor desk, Emily.
Thanks, Jonna. Students walking across the drill field the week of March 26 may have noticed some unsightly images being displayed. When the weather is nice, you can see students utilizing the drill field for various activities. The space is reservable through Virginia Tech's event planning office, and Advocates for the Life at Virginia Tech utilize the space to display their message. Advocates for Life is an anti-abortion activist group. The group displayed their graphic billboards across the drill field and the Dietrich porch. Their message contained various images of abortion and genocide. Warning signs were displayed as students crossed the field, but this still left some with a sour taste. Justin Haber, a Virginia Tech freshman, did not appreciate the signage.
I would definitely say they were too graphic, definitely offensive to me and my people and people that I know for sure. Even though I think freedom of speech is important, I still think that the images displayed could evoke some kind of danger that would overpower the need for, freedom of speech in the case where safety is more important.
Whether this will change Virginia Tech's policy on graphic images has yet to be seen.
Virginia Tech Police Department has the second largest Facebook following of all collegiate police departments in the nation, and by liking their page, you may be able to help in an investigation. VTPD is no stranger to social media. They created their Facebook page in 2009 in order to connect with people they may not normally connect with. Since then, the page has grown to over 12,000 likes. When it is appropriate, the department will take to Facebook to look for community support in a case. Lieutenant George Jackson says that the community support on social media has been helpful.
Had about 6 or 7 different instances where we've put a still shot of security footage or something of that nature on Facebook, and in every instance but one that I can think of, we've been able to at least identify the people who we were trying to identify, whether they were a suspect or a witness.
You can like VTPD's Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Virginia Tech Police or follow them on Twitter at VA Tech Police. Well, that about wraps it up for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Brendan Susserman.
And I'm Emily Jones. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.